So Eddie Howe in his press conference today, understandably this time of year, getting asked a lot of questions about the transfer window, but more so being asked about names he never thought he would hear being put to a Newcastle United manager, given how things have been in the last few years. But that's all changed now, I suppose, because of the new ownership. With Eddie Howe having names like Neymar and Ronaldo put to him in his press conference today. Obviously, we all know where Newcastle United are. We all knew at the start of the takeover that they were going to be linked with, the superstars of the game. But Eddie Howe just reminding everybody, where, if anybody needed a reminder in these parts, just reminding everybody where Newcastle United are about the financial fair play.
And I think there is almost a reality about Newcastle United squad going into this next window that, and I wrote a piece on this just last week there, Eddie Howe wants to retain some of the identity of this squad. He wants this squad to go on a journey together. But I think ultimately Newcastle will obviously be bringing in additions in the next window, and there will need to be quality additions going into the Champions League campaign if that is indeed where Newcastle are destined to go. That hasn't been confirmed yet mathematically, but I think we all know that Newcastle have got a great chance of that. Eddie Howe even admitting in his press conference that they can't make big decisions on certain players and transfers just yet because of Newcastle's uncertain situation, if you like. And I think he will look next summer to, really mould this squad together with more of the same of what we've seen, last season, fending off relegation so brilliantly and finishing 11th. This season, becoming top 3 contenders. And he looked to mix what he's got with the current squad with those 3 or 4 additions. And again, they'll have to be exactly the right type of characters. There was a line in the press conference about, egos, managing egos, and he'll be looking for the players who do have the right type of sort of mentality and, can just basically slot in with this group. And that's got to be a huge factor in the next window. A little bit about the Arsenal game. Eddie Howe, not looking too much at last season's game, which finished 2-0 to Newcastle. This season, Arsenal turn up here still in with a shout at the title, albeit a slim one. But realistically, Newcastle know if they win this, they're almost there. Regardless of the other teams, Liverpool and Brighton still hanging in there in terms of possibility of getting in the Champions League. But if Newcastle win this one, it would give them a mountain to climb. I still think they're probably going to need a couple more wins, but this one's key because of the momentum, and then going into what Eddie Howe himself described as a tough run-in for Newcastle. You compare to Liverpool's, that looks a little bit more forgiving on Liverpool, and Brighton obviously have 6 games. They've got a lot of work to do. So I think Newcastle know what they need from the last 4 fixtures, and Eddie Howe's just trying to get the group in the right place, and hopefully it pays off. But yeah, one other quick line in the press conference was that Paul Dummett could be offered a new contract. Eddie Howe just talking about his importance, made the point that he has been fit and available since I think after the World Cup. So it's not been because he's been injured that he hasn't played. It's because he simply can't get into the team at the moment because the defence has been rock solid. But he's not alone in that. Matt Targett's found it very difficult as well. And Jamal Lascelles, the captain, of course, who's going to miss the rest of the season with an injury. But when he's been fit, he hasn't been able to get in. So that's how competitive it is at Newcastle. Players who used to walk straight back in the team can't do it anymore. But next season, looks like Paul Dummett could still be around, according to Eddie Howe. Other than that, it was all focused on Arsenal, where Newcastle will be looking to pick up another big 3 points at St James's Park.